Most creators think their intros are fine, but if that's true, why are half their viewers gone in the first 8 seconds? Here's what's happening to that 50%. They either think this isn't what I clicked on, or there's no reason to stick around. Either way, they vanish. So you're gonna learn how to fix that. Here's the payoff. By the end of this video, you'll know the 2 critical elements an intro needs to lock viewers in and fix these 2 problems for good, so you never blow the click again. And good news is, it's actually quite simple. Deceptively simple. For years, thumbnails were the undisputed king of YouTube. If your thumbnail slapped, you won, end of story. But something changed quietly. Accessible outlier analytics, CTR inflation, higher competition, whatever you want to blame, it flipped the hierarchy so that thumbnails are no longer the sole differentiator for your video. Kind of like how a 4-year degree used to set you apart, until now, well, everyone has one. Gone are the days where you could just ride the high of a killer title and thumbnail. Now you gotta step it up. It's no longer just a click-through game, it's a retention game. Because no one in the history of YouTube has ever seen a retention graph like this. Everyone sees this instead. So what's happening in this part? It's your intro. Which means your intro is the single biggest lever you can pull to blow up your channel. And by the way, I give all my best advice away for free in these videos, but if you want some help to actually apply this to your channel, link below in the description. Don't get me wrong, thumbnails still matter, but they're no longer the choke point. The new #1 predictor of success for your channel blowing up is your intros, which by the way is exactly what you clicked on this video for. So let's talk about the 2 easy fixes. When I click a video, the biggest turnoff isn't bad audio or slow pacing or even a boring topic, it's clickbait. I wanted something, I expected something, and the intro instantly told me I'm not getting it. And whether the viewer means to or not, they're telling the algorithm, hey, don't show this video to anyone. So the viewer is stepping into your video with one question hanging in the back of their mind. Did I make a mistake by clicking this? Your intro is your only chance to answer this question, and it's why half of viewers leave. This is why job #1 of a killer intro is so brutally simple: align with the packaging. Most creators don't get this, they overthink it. But the moment someone clicks on your title and thumbnail, they're already telling you exactly what they want, or else they wouldn't have clicked on it. So the safest thing you can do, the most audience-aligned thing you can do, is simply give them what they came for immediately. And here's the part that feels almost too simple, but the most boring, uncreative, yet brutally effective way to align with packaging is to repeat the title in the first line of the video, literally word for word.
I'm gonna spend the next 50 hours buried alive in this coffin. Probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. Boys, seal me up!
This is the blueprint to becoming a millionaire, and I'm gonna walk you through the levels to becoming one. Level 1 is the fundamentals of wealth creation, and we're gonna start with, what even is a millionaire?
Not welcome back to the channel, not before we get started, make sure to smash the like button, not your credentials, your personality, your mission statement, or your life story. It's not sexy, it's not gonna win awards, but it tells the viewer, you clicked for this, you're gonna get this. Because the longer you wait, the more time the viewer has to doubt whether or not they're actually gonna get what they clicked for. Especially if an ad is the first thing that they see. You're unintentionally giving them space to regret clicking. And this moment, the first 5 to 10 seconds, is where most videos die. Repeating the title is the safest way to guard that moment. At the very least, it signals to the viewer that you're in the right place and you're gonna get exactly what you clicked for. Align with your packaging, even in the simplest way possible, and the viewer relaxes. They know they're in the right video, they're safe, they'll keep watching. You've done the job. But that's only the first job of a killer intro. See, there's a second job, and most creators know they should be doing this, but few people really know how. You could nail the first job and miss the second, and you've blown the intro. But get the second job right, and the whole video locks into place. See, compared to TikTok or Reels, YouTube intros, they're not about scroll stopping tricks. Your thumbnail already stopped the scroll, that part is done. So now the real question hits them, is this video gonna be worth 10 minutes of my life? And this is the moment that most intros fumble, because your intro isn't just a summary or a greeting, it's a promise. And that brings us to job #2, pitch the payoff. Not the topic, not the moral of the story, and definitely not a call to action. The payoff. The thing they secretly hope to walk away with. Let me show you what I mean. Will he actually survive 50 hours buried alive? Will I finally understand the 9-part framework to scale a business to $100 million? That's the payoff. That's the treasure at the end of the quest. If the payoff is compelling, people will buy in. If the payoff is lame, well, then you've set lame expectations for your video and you've blown the intro. Well, let me say that again, lest you underestimate the importance of what I just told you. If the payoff sounds killer, then people will buy in. If the payoff sounds lame, then you've set lame expectations for your video and you've blown the intro. And look, this is the hardest part. Sometimes the problem isn't writing a better intro. Sometimes the payoff of your video just isn't good enough. And if that's true, you don't want to discover it halfway through filming. You want to catch it now while it's still cheap to fix. Which brings me to something that most creators have never heard of, but that I'm kind of excited about. Test your intro before you make the video. We've all been testing titles and thumbnails for years. We know the drill, run a few options, see what people click, etc. But the problem is, everyone is testing thumbnails now because YouTube is maturing. The rewards are still crazy high, but the competition is stepping up. So if you want an edge, you need to test your intros the same way you test your thumbnails. That's what my clients and I have started doing. Once we find a winning title and thumbnail, then we also test 4 to 5 different intros, each pitching a slightly different payoff. And then once we find an intro that captures people's attention, that is the video we make. But we don't make a video until we've nailed the thumbnail and the intro. I'm telling you, this cheat code is insane. This is basically lean YouTube production, and it's kinda sick. And if you want help knowing what videos to make and how to test them before you waste time filming, link below in the description. We only make videos whose intro proves that it can hold people's attention. And this has changed everything. When you combine job number 1 and job number 2, something really elegant happens inside the viewer's mind. Job number 1 closes their first loop. They clicked your thumbnail and they immediately got what they clicked for. Instant reward, instant relief. Then job number 2 opens a bigger loop. You tell them, here's the real reason this video is worth watching. Here's the payoff you're gonna walk away with. So now the viewer has anticipation number 1 before the click, and payoff number 1 right after the click. Then anticipation number 2 for the bigger promise of the video, and then finally payoff number 2 when you actually deliver the single moment that the video is building towards. This sets up the simplest, cleanest engine of pacing. Anticipation, payoff, open loop, closed loop, open loop, closed loop. It's the heartbeat of YouTube. It's the rhythm that you feel to every killer video. You just don't realize it. And sure, there are 100 micro ways to do this within the script, and I'll probably make a whole nother video detailing how to do this along your script. But for now, just zoom out and see the big picture. The first anticipation happens before they click, and the first payoff happens when you align with the packaging. The second anticipation happens when you pitch the payoff, and the final payoff is the major moment your video delivers. This is the whole viewer experience in a nutshell. And honestly, too many creators are obsessing over retention graphs, but honestly, retention is a result that happens when people just love your video. So stop thinking about click-through rate and average view duration and instead just make a video people want to watch. But now let me tell you the part that almost no one talks about, but to be honest, is way more impactful. These 2 jobs don't just serve the viewer, they serve you as the creator. Think about it. You already know your title and thumbnail, which means you already know the first anticipation. So paying it off instantly, well, that part of the intro should be the easiest thing you write. Then when you pitch a strong payoff, something that you've tested, something that you know people want to watch, suddenly you aren't guessing anymore. You know exactly what the video is building toward. Your intro makes all your choices for you. Your direction becomes clear, your pacing becomes obvious, your talking points stop feeling random, you stop filming doomed videos, you stop wandering, you stop hoping the edit magically saves everything. You start building your video with intention. And this is what I always tell clients. When you nail the intro, the video writes itself. This is why creators who master intros develop killer instincts. Their work becomes repeatable instead of accidental. They stop guessing what people want because they already know. And sometimes you start a video with the payoff already in mind. You know what you want to teach, what you want to reveal or build toward. But then as you write your intro, you realize that maybe your payoff wasn't as lucrative as you expected. But this is great news. Because you did your intro first, now you haven't wasted all the time, energy, and effort into making a video and building towards a payoff that no one really wanted in the first place. This is how your intro becomes your compass. It tells you what the viewer wants, and it tells you what the video needs to become. So I told you there were 2 jobs, and that's true. There's 2 scientific, repeatable, practical applications of this. But there's a third piece, and it's not a job that your intro can do. It's a responsibility you have to carry. You gotta make something people love, and something that you love to make. We've talked so much about the science, alignment, and payoff. Those are the predictable parts. But when I think about the killer YouTubers that I love, the reason I love Johnny Harris isn't that he goes through a checklist, it's his immersive documentary world that he pulls me into. The reason I love Matt Gray is his premium, vibrant minimalism. The reason I love Hermosi is the clarity, simplicity, no fluff teaching. I mean, he's just a character. Each of these creators does jobs number 1 and 2, but that's just the science. What makes them great is the intangible stuff. The confidence, cinematics, curiosity, craft, heart, care, taste, personality, soul, humor. Like, you can't checklist your way into these things. The viewers can feel when you don't love what you make. And this is the only part you can supply. You gotta find something you love. Something that you know is going to make a difference in the world. And maybe that's not YouTube. And if this is too hard for you, that's okay. YouTube isn't for you. Go find something that is for you. The world right now is full of people doing things that they don't actually believe in. It's not their authentic selves. And I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about more important things. The world's gonna try to tell you what's important. Fame, money. And maybe those are things that are valuable to you. And if that's the case, I guess go for it. You'll get your reward. But if you actually value helping people, if you actually value serving people, trying to make their day a little bit better, a little bit nicer, you gotta find that. No matter the cost, you gotta work towards it. I remember what Camille Pissarro said. When you feel the impulse to make something, do it no matter the cost. And if whatever you're creating is just meant to help you, to bring you more fame and money, go for it, I guess. You'll have your reward. But if that impulse to create something is to better other people's lives, you gotta do it no matter the cost. And I promise you that's gonna be so much more fulfilling. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Look, you already did the hardest part. You made a thumbnail and someone clicked on it. Congratulations. Now just don't blow the intro. Align with your packaging, pitch the payoff, make something people love. Do that, and you might be one video away from blowing up your entire channel. And if you want help finding that one video, link below in the description. Now go write an intro.